Hello, ladies and gents. Welcome back to another episode. Today, I've got Jackson Williams on with me today. Jackson is actually a student within both of my programs, both our beginner program and our higher level scaling program. Super interesting though, because Jackson is coming into this game where he's got a couple of businesses that he's been running for some time, and we're going to touch on in this episode kind of the lessons that he has taken from those and how he, as a person, has built himself up to start businesses. This is something we touch on, in other areas, but it's very, very important that if you want to start a business, that you level yourself up. And Jackson, you've got you've done that very well, right? And you talk about it very prolifically on your TikTok and social media as well. So, Jackson, welcome in, my man.
Hey, thanks for having me, Adam. So yeah, like I said, Jackson Williams. I'm from Texas area. So I got a little bit of a southern accent and say y'all a lot. So I just started the program not too long ago, less than a month ago. I
Mm-hmm.
started in December. I wasn't really focused on it to the new year. That's part of my New Year's resolution is to really stick with this. I just joined the high level acceleration program, which is awesome. I'd highly recommend that to anybody. Um, but yeah, I'm just in the beginning phases. I just started outreach about 2 weeks ago, trying to find that first client, trying to get myself out there and build my brand and, really, really just get started in the space and just get started in outreach.
Cool, man. Awesome. And let's kick it off with a little bit of a backstory, Jackson, of how you stumbled into the business world in the first place. Like which business did you start first, and how did you even end up here?
Yeah. Well, I guess my first business really was when I was like 13. I started business. I bought a whole bunch of Lego minifigures. I love Legos as a kid. Lego
Mhm.
minifigures, and I bought them in a big package, and I sell them out. I dealt them out. I
Nice.
opened them and had the individual ones, and made it that way. So I've always really had a business mind, and that's always been a big thing for me.
Hmm.
Um, when I graduated high school in 2016. Didn't want to go to college. Not the route for me.
Yeah.
Uh, and I had my dad brought to me, who's been a sole entrepreneur his whole life. He's always had his own companies. That's I guess where I get a lot of it from. But he had a moving somebody was selling a moving company.
Mhm. Okay.
And so, like I said, didn't want to go to school. I already done some moving in high school. I was pretty good at it. So I bought that company. I had some money set aside. People always ask, and then I had the owner finance a lot of it, so it was awesome. I was able to do it that way, and I've had that company for 5.5 years now. I've been running. I mean, I started running when I was 19, and this is I guess one helpful tip for everybody. I remember in the beginning stages, I'd always go to my dad. I would have so many questions and ask people about business or like, what the heck do you do here? What's this? And I remember back then thinking to myself, will I ever get to the point where I'm like, oh, I already know the answer to all this thing. Will I ever get to the point where I don't have to ask these questions anymore?
Mm.
And I will always have to ask questions, yes. But it was like 2 years ago where all of a sudden hit me. I'm like, I don't ask those questions anymore. I'm like, if anything, almost my dad comes and other business people come to me and ask questions now. And so that was like a surreal thing and encouragement to everybody who's, doing this program or business, anything like that is eventually you're going to get to the point where you're the one who knows all the information. At first, it seems like you don't know anything, and it's hard, but sometimes you just got to get thrown into it and start doing it, and you'll figure it out along the way.
Yeah, yeah, 100%, man. It's not being afraid to take the first leap. Just start,
Yeah,
jump in, know that you're not going to know everything, but like you said, eventually you'll know enough. You'll never be an expert. There's still things I don't know in this game that I need to ask people, ahead me, or I'll find from content online. So that's just part of the game, man.
yeah,
Very interesting that, like, yeah, you probably got a lot of the inspiration from your dad, or just like you said, the insights. And I guess in a sense, it was probably like your first mentor, probably a bit of mentorship.
yep, yeah. No, I had several business. My dad obviously a lot, but he had a whole bunch of people in his network that
Mm-hmm.
still were business owners, and so I really just got coached by that and learned a lot from that. And then recently, 6 months ago, I started a roll-off dumpster company for construction sites like home remodel, and that's a new business just started called American Dumpsters. Give myself a little shout out.
Nice.
Uh, but it's that company's been going really really good. I picked that business model because it's a lot easier than a moving company. And that's
Mm.
what I've come to find with every bit with you learn from your businesses. and you go a different direction. I'm now trying to sell my moving company, actually trying to get more into dumpsters, and I'm trying to do more of this. Because with moving company, I have several employees,
Mhm.
and employees, if you're a business owner, employees are the hardest part of the company, especially moving employees, because you have to be strong, you have to work all day. It's like a very small amount of people that can actually do that, because moving's not an easy thing. So that's why with my dumpster company, it takes one person to drive a truck and push a button to take it off, take it back. That's what, with this company, it's a lot easier. More people can do it. And that's one of the things I've learned a lot from going through different businesses, is find employees are hard. So find something that's easy for a lot of different people to do.
I like that, man. I like that. It kind of brings me back to when I was starting the agency, Jackson, right? I had the option of starting a content social media focus agency, and that's what I wanted to do. But most people especially in 2019 were telling me, nope, don't do it. It's not scalable, it won't work long term. And the easiest is to do a Facebook ads agency. But here's the thing. When I looked at a Facebook ad agency, let's say doing 10K per month versus content agency doing 10K per month, I knew that with the content agency, I'd need more people. But
Yeah.
what you mentioned, they would be less specialized. So, for example, it's very easy to find a graphic designer or a video editor. But to
Yep.
find somebody that can run Facebook ads, create the ads, run them, scale the ads, and be a full on media buyer, that's the term we use, that's very difficult. That's a very small percentage of people. So
Mm-hmm.
although yes, you could have a smaller team with a Facebook ad agency, it's finding that person that's hard. So you're going to pay them more money. They're again really hard to find. So to actually get them in is going to be difficult. And if they leave, to replace them, it's an absolute nightmare. So for me, yeah, man, that made a whole lot of sense. And I've actually never really thought about that until you just said it there. That's funny.
Yep, yeah, that's one of the main things I've learned with every single business. Like I said, and another thing I learned, which is great about your business, which I love the most, is with my moving company, people only move once every
Mm,
2-3 years.
yeah.
And so I like so my concept when I was trying to look for a different company to do was find one with easier access to employees or no employees, and
Hmm.
then find something that's subscription based. And so
Yes.
that's why the dumpsters is subscription based. Contractors will keep me the whole time, or a job site will be there for 6 months.
Yeah.
That's a little more on that side. But then this, I mean, as you know, is very, very subscription based. Especially if you do
Yes.
your work right. I mean, they'll stay with you for forever.
For sure, man. This is the beauty of this game. It's the recurring revenue. Like even if you're doing 50K a month with a marketing agency, unless your service is really, really bad, you're typically going to retain at least probably 90% of your customers. So you might dip by, let's say, 3 to 5,000. Okay. That's if you don't sign any clients. But obviously, you need to have a good system in place where you bring those new clients in. So, yeah, man, hopefully we can get that monthly recurring revenue sorted for you. Because I can imagine, yeah, with the moving company, that is a real headache because you have to basically advertise to get a client, and then the lifetime value of that client is it's not much because yes they'll pay, but then when will they move again? It could be 5 years, it could be never.
Exactly. Yeah, no, there's not. I'll have some people reoccurring, but most everybody, you have to find that new. So it's always keeping out there and finding new clients. And that's what, with this business model, I've been reaching out for 2 weeks now. I've sent 5 or 6 case studies out. Haven't got a call yet, sadly. But I know once I get that one person, I'm gonna have that person for 3 months, and I'll just stack and stack on top of that. And that's, like I said, that's the beauty of a reoccurring business like this.
Yeah, for sure, man, for sure. And I'd love to touch just quickly on kind of like your personal life, Jackson, right? Because to buy the company from your dad at 19, and obviously, like you said, you need to have a little bit of money to do it. But even money aside, that's still a massive decision, even if it was free. You know what I mean? Even if it was free and he just gave it to you, that would still be a massive undertaking. 19-year-old to just say, yeah, I'm going to run this thing. So, like, obviously you had the entrepreneurial inspiration from him, but like, did that come naturally, for you to say, yep, cool, I'll take it on? Or was there a period of you kind of leveling up your identity and your mindset to think, yeah, I can actually do this?
Good question. Yeah, I mean, I would say so. From yeah, go further back in my story. I was homeschooled my whole life, and I lived on a farm my whole life. My
Oh,
dad was a
okay.
farmer from birth. My dad didn't own the moving company. Some other guy he knew owned the moving company.
Gotcha.
My dad was a farmer, so I learned from 8 years old to drive a tractor and plant fields behind my dad. I mean, that was just, and 8 years old, I was out there, or even earlier than that, 6 years old, I was out there getting up at 6 in the morning, moving hay bales and feeding hogs and all. I mean, hard work. I mean, moving is hard work, but yeah, farming is definitely an industry. It's hard. You wake up early, and I think that was a big thing that installed maybe from a young age. Is I go to bed early. I hate staying up late. I mean, I'll stay up late, have fun, every once in a while, but
Mhm.
I love being in bed by 10 o'clock and being asleep. And I get up at 6 o'clock every morning. I get up at 6. Kind of touched on that. I've done this more and more recently, but I get up at 6 o'clock every morning. I go in, I read my Bible, I read a business book,
Mhm.
I meditate for 10 minutes, which is I just started meditating. I was reading before, and meditating is probably like one of my new favorite things in the world. I absolutely love it. I don't can't explain why, but it's just it makes your day so much better in all aspects.
For sure.
Um,
Agreed.
I love and then I go and hit the gym. I just got back from the gym 5 minutes before I called you, Adam.
Right.
Go hit the gym, and that little morning thing really just it sets you up for success. I mean, you're up, you feel accomplished from it. I think that's a big thing, is just mentally you feel accomplished that you've got all these things done today. You've worked on your body, yourself, your mind, and then that aspect then you translates to business and going in that direction.
For sure, man. It's something I've talked about a lot recently, where for me right now, I don't have as strict of a routine as when I started. And I think the reason for that is because when I started, it's like I needed that, it's like I could not get the work done without having, like you said, the routine and getting my mind to that place where I'm like, I'm accomplished and I can do this and I'm ready to go. Now I think after a few years, it's just part of my identity. I don't have to really work on it. But that being said, for anybody that's jumping into this game, listen to what Jackson has just said. Like, if you
Mhm.
can, like you said, get up, go to the gym, work on yourself, and it's whatever it is for you, right? You set what that is. But anything that gives you that feeling of like, yeah, I'm making moves. I'm making moves. I'm going in the right direction. And like you said, I'm feeling good and positive about my progress. That's really important, because at the start, you have no results, right? So at the start, you're doing work and you're not going to see results. It might be a month, 2 months, 3 months, however long it may take. So you need to have some form of a reward system. And that is a reward system, right? Going to the gym and then realizing, fuck, I just did 10 minutes of meditation and now I'm feeling good.
Yep.
That's your reward system. So you got to create that.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. No, it's yeah, like just like you said with the business, I have 2 weeks here. I haven't done outreach, I haven't got any, leads. I'm staying positive though, and I stay positive through being positive myself. I mean, in any aspect of life, no matter what you're doing, spend time on yourself and everything else will follow. Also, fun thing I do, fun, I say, I do 2 ice baths a week.
Nice.
Freezing cold water, which is it's not necessarily fun to get into. And the amount around, I do it for 5 minutes at a time. Around minute 4, I think I'm going to freeze to death. But that also is probably one of the greatest dopamine rushes you'll ever get is from an ice bath.
For sure, man. I've actually never done a proper ice bath, so I definitely need to put it on my list. What I have been doing recently, where I'm currently at, there's a sauna and there's a pool. Okay, so the pool is really, really cold at nighttime, not freezing cold ice, but pretty chilly. You hop in and you're straight away, you're like, damn, that
Uh-huh.
hits. So what I'm typically doing now is 15 minutes sauna, maybe after a workout. Okay, so nice workout, 15 minutes sauna. It's probably at about 70 to 80 degrees Celsius. So it's not super hot. It's pretty hot, but it's not absolutely boiling. Then into the cold pool and do that for like a minute or two, not quite hitting that 5 minute mark, but
Uh-huh.
then coming back into the sauna, lying on your back and literally just doing a bit of meditation. And genuinely, it feels like you are on cloud nine. It's insane.
Mhm.
It is
Yeah,
so good.
I haven't got the sauna to cold water because I know
Mm.
that's really really good for you, and
Oh, so
that's
good.
a great feeling too. Yeah.
It's incredible, man. Like, I don't have one now, like like an Apple Watch or a Fitbit that would like track your heart rate. But I had one about 2 years ago, and I would do the same thing. And what I would notice is that the heartbeat would go from like maybe 170, 180, like real pumping, real high, all the way down to it could be like 70 or 80 in like 2 minutes. So
Jeez.
very, very good cardiovascular training for sure, man. Real quick, Jackson, personal brand, right? That's something you have been putting some focus onto recently. Do you see that being, a big part of your success with the agency model going forward, or how are you kind of going to utilize the personal brand?
Yeah, so I just started a personal brand the first this year, and I was planning on doing it besides pairing it with this company. And after
Yeah,
talking to Adam, might as well put it hand to hand. I'm kind of doing a personal brand on
sure.
mindset, exercise, kind of overall mental and physical health. But with Adam, they I can kind of coincide and put them together. And so I'm really trying to push, and I really think, at first, I think it's going to take a little bit to build up an audience and all that. But I really think that will be a really big thing in 3, 4 months, where I'm going to be able to get a lot, if not most, of my clients from there. I mean, I really think that if I do it well, but I know that takes time. I know I'm going to be doing outreach here mostly, but my goal is, in 3, 4 months, is that does a lot of outreach for me, and that's getting a lot of the publicity. Because right, don't you probably get a lot of business from your online brand, Adam?
Yeah, yeah, for sure, man. The way I always say it to people is that when you're starting, your outreach is what gets you to short-term wins. So that gives you clients in 3 months, right? In the first 3 months. But building a personal brand, it might not get you clients right away in the first 3 months, but in 6, 9, 12 months, that's when you're reaping the full benefits. So for me, for example, Jackson, when I started my personal brand, we already had the agency. So we were doing at least I would say 15K a month, maybe a little more when I started the personal brand. So, did the short term outreach, got that working, got the clients in. And the personal brand then really took a long time to kick off. Like for the first 3 months, I did 3 TikTok videos a day for 90 days. So that's 3 months. You do the maths on that, it's 90 videos a month. It's like a couple hundred, right? 270 or something like that. And genuinely, I think I maybe hit 1,000 followers in the first 3 months. So not a very good, followers to the amount of effort that I put in.
Yeah.
But then all it takes is one video. So you get one video that pops off. I had this one, and I remember it got like 1 to 2 million views, and it just boom, there we go, 10K followers overnight, and that starts to kind of create this ripple effect where the next time you go viral is maybe only 2 weeks later, another
Yeah.
2 weeks, another 2 weeks. So for sure, man, it's a long-term play, but you do get a ton of business. And like even right now with my personal brand, I don't position it as, hey, come to me and I'll manage your social media, or come to me and I'll create content. Nonetheless, I will still get business owners almost every day of the week saying, hey, we got a marketing project we need help with. Can you help? So definitely, man. I know it's going to pay off for you.
Nice. Yeah, no, that's the dream right there. Them coming to me, no more outreach, and none have to doing that. That'd be nice.
Yeah, yeah, 100%, man. We have some people that are in that phase right now in our program where started with outreach and they built a personal brand, and that has just replaced it for them. And that's a nice position to be in because the leads coming to you from your personal brand are going to be typically more qualified. They're hungrier, they're warmer, they're ready to work with you. So you closing them is quite easy. Whereas outreach can be a lot more difficult. But at the same time, because you've done the outreach first, you know how to do it. So if the personal brand stops performing, or you have a couple of slow months and your videos aren't getting views, cool. You can turn back on the outreach. You know it worked and you have the system built out already. Jackson, where can people find you?
So right now I'm on TikTok. Jackson's Year is what's called. I'm building an Instagram today or tomorrow, and it's gonna be the exact same handle. And I'm gonna start posting everything over there. I started on TikTok first just to get in there and get started, and I'm switching over to. I'll do both, but I'm switching over more to Instagram. But yeah, Jackson's Year.
Awesome, man. Awesome. And you were saying one of the companies is called American Dumpsters, right?
One company's called American Dumpsters. My other one is River Hills Moving. They both have social media pages. I don't think they have TikTok, but they both are on Instagram. Like I said, they're a local business, but yeah, they're both on Instagram, and I mean, it looks pretty good. I've used a. You'll see within the last month of doing your program, the quality of video has gone up drastically.
Nice. That's what we like to hear, man. That's what we like to hear. And obviously, in your case, I guess, there might be potential to use your companies as a case study, all right, to get good results for your companies, get a few posts that go viral, and then that builds your success in the agency as well.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm home for, and that's why some people ask, because I don't have any clients right now. I'm going to
Mhm.
kind of point towards those two companies to look at it and see, this is what I've done with my own brand, and this is what
Sure.
which it's a little harder because I'm not really trying to reach the whole world. I'm just trying to reach my community. So I don't have as many followers, but I mean, I can pitch that to them and tell them, I'm just trying to reach my community. I have a big following for what my town is. And, they can see the level of, content that I'm able to put out, and they can see that and really get an idea of what I'm about.
100%, man. Definitely. Well, Jackson, I appreciate you coming on, man. Hopefully people got some value from this. And, to anybody listening, go ahead, hit Jackson up on TikTok, on the Instagram that's going to be made very soon. And we'll get him back on here in a few months from now to see his progress.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me, Adam.
Awesome, man.